So we've got a mini meal prep video this week. The reason for this is Leo's got some meals in the freezer that we've been putting away, so we might as well get those used up and make some more freezer space. And also I was doing this in the corner of the kitchen because I didn't have my usual prep space, so I didn't want to get too involved and too elaborate when I'm trying to do it in a kind of confined space. So what I'm doing first of all is trying to make aubergine bacon, because we had an aubergine in the fridge and I wanted to use it up. I've wanted to try aubergine as bacon, and yeah, it was an interesting first try. It didn't quite come out as I wanted to. As you can see, it was a total pain in the ass trying to cut it up. I've not got a mandolin, and it's like, oh, you can do it with a peeler. Not really. It just really didn't work. So I ended up using just a few different methods just to get it into thin slices. Then with the marinade, I kind of eyeballed it because, you know, I don't really follow recipes anyway. So I used soy sauce, some mushroom ketchup, some liquid smoke, garlic, and some paprika. And then at the last minute kind of thought about, yeah, I'll put something sweet in there as well. So I put some maple syrup in there. Just mixed all that together, poured it over the aubergine slices, and then just put it to one side while I was doing everything else. Now, because this is going to go in the oven, and I don't like turning on the oven unless I'm going to fill it, because it's kind of wasteful just to put one thing in there and heat an whole oven for it. So I'm doing a few other oven-based things for this weekend. So that's the marinade going on there now. I'll pop a lid on it, give it a good shake, and then just put it to the side while everything else is being prepped. Now, lunch is going to be this aubergine bacon in a BLT. And dinner is going to be dal. Now, while this is all happening, I've got the dal cooking. I'm not showing you the recipe because I'm doing it from a book. I will show you the book it's from, but obviously I'm not showing the recipe because it's not my recipe. Now, to go with it, it's in the book as Punjabi pie and gravy. I did not have the time or the inclination to make samosas. So what I'm doing is kind of like a roasted samosa veg. So basically what I'd put in the filling, using what I've got at home already, because I didn't have potatoes, so I'm using carrot instead. So it's carrot, peas, some cumin, some coriander, salt, and some chili flakes, and I'm putting that in the oven. So that will then go on top of the dal once I've kind of dished it up, just to give it a bit more kind of filling and a bit more texture to it, so it's not just a bowl of mush when I come to my dinner. And that's going to go in the oven as well. So that's two things in the oven to start filling it up. The third thing is I'm doing something different for breakfasts, because I always seem to do something with bananas. So today I'm making Hasselback apples. So I'm peeling an apple, slicing it in half, cutting out the core, and then I've got some metal chopsticks there which I'm going to use to Hasselback it. Now, I've seen a few people do this and wonder why it's gone wrong. They've used the chopsticks. Why is this so wrong? Use a flat bottom knife. If you use a curved bottom knife, you are still going to cut all the way through it because it's going to go under the line of where the chopsticks are. Use a flat knife. And they're going into a foil lined tray, and what I'm going to do is put some maple syrup on it, a sprinkle of, what's it called? That spice. You know the one I'm talking about. Cinnamon. That's the word I'm looking for. Cinnamon. And pop that in the oven. Now, the aubergine, like I say, total pain in the ass. It didn't work as I wanted it to. So first of all, I'm lining it out on some greaseproof lined trays. Now, the greaseproof paper I've got, for some reason, sticks to everything it touches. So I gave up on that after a while because it was starting to stick, and just put it on a greased tray. And it was starting to stick to that too. So then it was kind of soft, it's kind of cooked. I just gave up and I'm putting it back in the tub. What I'll do is, when I actually go to eat this, is I'll just heat this up in a pan until it's heated through, because, you know, it'd be nicer to have a hot BLT. Heat it up, slightly crispy, and then I can toast my bread in the same pan at the same time. Hopefully that will work. Now, this is a dal. It's from Vegan Travels. This isn't my favourite book of hers. Her previous one is way better, but, you know, this one has this dal recipe in it, which is just amazing. So I'm putting my dal in there, and then I'll pop on my kind of roasted vegetables on top. that will be my dinner. So this is 3 days because I work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and this will be enough to get me through that. So this is all that going on top. Because you know, it's like with dal, while it looks a bit kind of chunky, it is kind of mushy, and you want something like a little bit extra with it. Plus, you know, I want it to be filling to get me through work. So there's that. These are the apples once they've been roasted. You can see just how soft and lovely they've got. So there's like an apple for breakfast each day there. And what I'm going to have with it is some vanilla soy milk, some of my favourite cereal. So those three together will be my breakfast. I've got the BLT. I'll figure out the aubergine. It's not right, but maybe I should stick to mushrooms. I prefer doing it with mushrooms. And to go with that, I've got some sriracha mayo, because sriracha mayo. I've bought bread rather than making bread because, as you may or may not hear, I've got a bit of a cold right now, and this was enough. I couldn't be bothered to do any more. And then with the dal, I've also found some Bombay mix or jalfrezi mix in the cupboard, which I'll put on top for some crunch.